Do you have an iPhone?
I don't have an iPhone. Do
Uh,
you want to know what I have?
okay.
I have a Huawei
Huawei.
P20 Lite.
Okay. Next question. Do you think you will ever be targeted by hackers?
Oh, to be honest, I think I never have been targeted by hackers. Probably being targeted by malware and advertisements, things like that daily, but not hackers. Have you
Okay.
been?
Right. Next question. Do you think you will ever be targeted by highly sophisticated hackers?
Oh, yes, definitely. That I will be
Uh,
because
uh,
I'm not a low-ranking person. I'm very important in the
uh,
hierarchy of things.
how about highly sophisticated state-backed actors like Russian government or the American government?
Definitely, yeah, I've done some pretty shady stuff in my past.
Well, if because all of
It's all
those
a joke, of course.
things check out, then there's a new feature just for you. Apple has released a new feature for iPhone, which is for people who might be targeted by highly sophisticated hackers backed by state uh, or organized crime.
Okay. So I don't consider myself an enemy of the state or any state,
I think,
but do tell something about it. What does it do?
yeah, so it's called lockdown mode, and it's an extreme optional protection against spyware, and it's one of specialized kind of spyware, which is one of the hardest to fight against, which is made to infiltrate governments or various organizations, like for example, let's say the Russian government or the American government, and it's a very strict system, and it would block, for example, message uh, attachments, any like complex web browsing, any kind of JavaScript in the browser, uh, any kind of incoming like calls or messages that are not approved, any kind of wired connections, any kind of mobile device management tools, which are also actually a vector for attacking. So basically, your phone will be almost useless, except for the most basic activities possible.
So what about that JavaScript compilation? Is it like possible to do it in the web browser? Because like I'm still learning coding.
No, it means that no JavaScript will work. So basically, no website will work for you because they all have
Oh,
JavaScript.
yeah. Okay. I thought you could like with some application code on the fly, so to say,
Well,
that you
yeah,
open a web page and
but what they're doing is they're blocking any code from running on your phone.
oh,
So they're
okay.
preventing that in case it's malicious. So some very,
So
but for example, I think Wikipedia might still work, or some very basic websites like news websites portal might work maybe.
is it like optional or is it always on?
So they no, this is like optional. You can enable it by clicking the button, turn on and restart.
Yeah, but maybe like you may be too late to prevent a spyware attack.
Well, yeah, like if it's too late, it's too late. But well, it might not be too late, I guess.
In like my simple mind, like conjure up a scenario where like some president gets a call, oh, you're about to get spyware attacked, and then he like initiates the application and poof, like pops a shield on his phone.
Huh. No, it might actually be good for that because in one of the keyboard training, I had to analyze what would be called like a highly sophisticated spyware. It was specifically made for that exercise, as if it would be made by like a state actor, and it had multiple parts, which each part then connected to the next part, and then downloaded more and more. So it might be possible that even if you're infected, if you block, let's say, outgoing like network or wired connections, you might stop the, let's say, command and control server or the payload with some more malicious virus to coming on your phone, because when it's like a highly sophisticated attack, it has like multiple parts. The first part just tries to get some kind of access. The next part will try to get deeper access, and they might not do anything bad like at all. They will just try to kind of like look around, like do some like spying, checking. So what's happening here? Then try like a more like a more advanced like attack to kind of get more control, then more control,
Hmm.
and only at the end it might actually trigger some kind of like a warning. So if you lock it down, it might not be able to get those, might not make progress.
Okay, so it's like multi-layered. It first tries to enter your phone, for example,
Yeah,
then it tries to hack something, then it tries to maybe extract some
yeah.
information.
But these are
Uh,
like highly sophisticated attacks. Like they would
mm,
be for example, in one of cyber trainings, we had it was like two like governments fighting each other, and they had to infiltrate like a employee of a power station, and so they made
mhm,
like a special attack just to get through his phone inside the power station network. And yeah, it just started like he got like an attachment in like a signal, and then he side loaded it up from that, and then it got to his personal computer, and then it got like to a different computer in that network, then it spread outside that network, then it spread outside that to other like systems like water plant and so on. So it's
mm.
like all spiraling up.
Like an actual virus.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I mean that does sound scary cool.
Yeah, well, I think this is really cool. I think hopefully we would never have to use this, but maybe if something bad happens, we actually might, I guess. Uh,
Mm. But we might need to buy iPhones first, because do you have an iPhone?
No, no. I think it might get released for Android as well. Like I think it's just a matter of time. I guess the only like realistic scenario when we could have to use it would be if there would be like a massive cyber attack against like Latvia as a whole, which would
Hmm.
try to also attack all the Latvian citizens. We might have to use this perhaps.
Do you think that's possible?
I think so,
Like,
yeah. I think it's definitely possible.
mm,
Because like it would just, for example, be through like an operator, like a network operator. Uh,
through like beta,
yeah,
teledievi, LMT?
exactly.
Okay.
That's it's like a pretty easy. Like for example, Beta sends like an SMS telling you got like €100 like invoice that you have
Mm.
to pay, or we're going to come after you. Click this link. Once you click the link, you're infected, and your phone spreads to all nearby phones.
I don't know what provider you have, but I have teledievi, and they have these seasonal. How do you say them? Well, you can like win stuff.
Oh,
I forgot the name for that. Lotteries, and you might get a message that you have won that lottery, because it all it takes, like, you just go to their site, to your
mm-hmm,
profile, and then just click participate, and then they send you a text that wait for a text if you have like won something or gotten further, and then you might get a text that says yes, you have won this lottery, and then bam, like, you get infected. It would be quite easily,
mm-hmm.
I think, it would fool a lot of people quite easily.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I really like this notification on the iPhone. I don't know if you can see text, but it says lockdown mode is an extreme optional protection that should only be used if you believe you may personally be targeted by highly sophisticated cyber attacks. Most people are never targeted by attacks of this nature.
Well, that's very assuring and scary at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, in related technology news, here is the Zuck taking a picture with himself.
Like a selfie? Or
Oh, perhaps you can call that a selfie. But let's try. Here it is. What do you think about this picture?
like a normal like lunch time for a very busy person.
Does it look staged to you?
I don't know. I mean, if I wouldn't know Zuckerberg, and I actually don't know him very well, but I've heard like the memes that he's very robotic or alien. I've seen some clips from his court case and his presentations. I mean, like, I wouldn't think twice about this picture.
Okay,
I
so you
would
think
say,
it's
yeah,
real, it's not staged.
yeah, I think it's like okay, normal. Yeah, he looks very normal.
I don't know. Like maybe it's the comments or something because all the comments think it's like staged. But for me, it also felt a bit like I guess staged. I just think if I had to stage a picture, I would stage it exactly like this. You know, I would put him there.
I mean, you might, if you go into detective mode, I might have some second thoughts about the unfinished shakes, for example. Like
Yeah.
none of them have straws in them or even started. The three hamburgers unwrapped on the table. The table is very clean. And it's like someone bought the stuff maybe and just put it straight on the table and took a picture of him. And then probably he didn't eat it because he like just plugs himself into the wall and charges that way.
Yeah, I think this is staged. I'm not buying this. But that's okay, it's fine. It should give us like a funny picture.
Is it like a reference for him to like use against his critics who call him a robot or an alien? No, look at this picture. Look at how normal I am.
But yeah, I think if you analyze it, you see there's also a picture in the background. It might be maybe with his family. It's like some kind of like humanizing picture, and then it's like
Okay. And
then
then
it's
there's a TV on the left side.
and then it's like everything in the McDonald's like neatly arranged to the side. The yeah. Well, okay, quick topic. Then in oh, I want to actually show you this quick topic. I'm going to translate it into English. I'm not sure, maybe you also read this news, but have you ever been targeted by debt collectors?
No, thankfully I haven't. Usually like okay, I usually try to pay my debts in time.
Hmm. Do you
Let's
know
say.
anybody who has been targeted by debt collectors?
Um, not like organizations, I think. I'm just trying to remember on the spot. No, I would say no.
Oh, I want to translate this. Uh,
Like I I have known a friend who worked at a bank as a debt collector. Uh, and he told me that usually they don't uh, they don't go like to physical conflict. They usually try to like call it and send um, messages to the authorities and just send a lot of reminders. And I did read this news article, and it talks about, yeah, it says it in the title, violent extortion. And,
yeah, so this really surprised me. Actually, I know some stories, not like close friends, but some like just acquaintances. I've heard some actually debt collection stories from SMS credit, and
oh,
like
okay,
like usually like in Latvia, like we have the thing like pretty well mapped out. So because if you are in debt, then you have like
mm,
what you call like uh, tiesasprāva, like a trial. You have a trial, and
trial,
then
yeah,
after that trial,
court
the
case,
judge assigns you like an administrator, uh, like bankruptcy administrator, maksātnespējas administrators,
yeah,
and it he has access to your bank account, and he has priority access. to all that money that you receive. So if you have any kind of salary, after you receive that salary, that administrator will take a predetermined amount, which has been chosen by the judge, away from your salary, and he will leave the rest to you. Because in Latvia we have a law, you can take only a determined amount of percent away from person's salary to pay down the debts, and you can't take any more. And that's
Hmm.
basically it. It's like a pretty. Of course, you can't borrow any more money. No bank will give you any more money because you failed. But you can live your life, and slowly you're going to pay down those debts, basically.
It's it sounds like budgeting, only like in extreme cases, like when the person doesn't know how to budget himself, they give him a nanny who helps him to budget.
But that sounds actually
Uh,
like very, I think, reasonable and fair. Like,
it does, yeah. It doesn't need to go to like violence.
yes,
Yeah.
so that's why I was so like I was actually shocked. I was actually kind of angry even to read this news because I thought things like this don't happen in Latvia. Because think about it, like people already are feeling really bad for having like loans, for not being able to pay them. um, they most likely they have been taken away the thing that they even can't pay for. For example, if it's a car, they can't pay the car, they will get repossessed. They won't even have the car. They will only have the debt. They might even not
Mm.
have the flat. They will only have the debt. So it's like, and so
It
these
is
guys.
very crippling. Like a debt. I mean, it. I feel so divided about this topic because, for one, debt is like a huge black cloud over your head. Like you know it's there, and it like presses down on you, and it sucks out your energy in form of money. But on the other hand, I as I've read, humanity has gotten very far because of this principle that they uh, created called credit, as in belief in the future. The future will bring more than the present has, and that is why we have accelerated our growth.
Yeah, borrowing from the future, and yeah, like governments are doing that to a massive like extent. If you look at government debt, they're borrowing so far into the future. um, and
I mean, yeah, it has its downsides, but I'm reading this um Yuval Noah Harari,
okay.
*Sapiens*, a book, A Brief History of Mankind, and there's this whole passage about how empires and like Britain and Dutch and French expanded their territories in, I think it was the 18th century, and how those who had more advanced financial systems, uh, EA credit, they managed to grow their not only local economies, but they managed to travel abroad, create empires, conquer other places, and build trust not only in their own countries but also like create trust and stability in the countries that they invaded. And all of that was possible because of credit, because for a lot of time people didn't believe that the future could be better. That's what credit is basically based on. People thought that, hey, this is as good as it gets. It'll probably get worse. So why even think of the future? Why even think of like growth? We can only harvest that much. There will always be poverty, etc. But like this thought that the future can hold more than the present is what made credit possible. At the same time, I hear what you're saying, that there is this negative side to it, and I
No, no,
felt it
like
in my life.
I have so many like thoughts about what you're saying. Like I think every sentence I have like a separate thought because like for example like governments are refinancing their debt by borrowing more. We usually laugh at people. Oh, you borrow money, then you borrow some more money to pay down the previous loan, right? But we
Yeah,
don't
I've done
understand that,
that.
like the Latvian government does that every day. The
I
American
think a lot of governments do
Oh,
that.
the governments do that. They just refinance their debts by new debts, and that's just normal government practice. But for an individual, of course, for if it's like a smart individual, then it also makes sense. But usually, it's like a move of desperation, right? If it's like a smart individual and he can borrow for a lower percentage than previously, then it's very smart. You get like cheaper money. But usually, if you're in a bad financial situation, each of the next loans you will take will have a worse, like interest rate. So that's bad.
Okay. That is a good point, and that is something that I've like felt in my own life and choices in the past. And at the same time, there's this conundrum. If, for example, if you're a entrepreneur or you want to build a small business, you don't have any money, for
Hmm.
example. Let's say that in this example, you're a smart person and you think of like opening a shoe shop, for example. You're gonna like make your own clothes or and but you don't have any money. So, but you have this dream, which is now possible to be built. And you take, for example, 1 million credit from the bank
Hmm.
with interest. You can create your little small business from that money. And if you're basically, if you're smart and good, after a while, you can repay this debt in full. And in a best case scenario, not only you generate more money for yourself and the bank, you can create a bigger business that creates jobs for other people. And you
Hmm.
can then employ other people to create more money, more revenue, like
Hmm.
which you can see how the system accelerates itself. But it works only in that case that if you put your earnings as capital into building a better business, not like spending for like crowns and jewels and parties, but investing back into the business, into the people, and into the growth of the economy.
Also, like a cheap debt is good. For example, if you have a loan with low interest that you have repay in small installments over many years, like a home loan, if the interest for it is, let's say, like 2%, 3%, 3.5%, then you actually are making money because of the inflation. So if the
Mhm.
rate of interest is lower than inflation, you're actually making money by having a debt.
That's actually a good point. It makes me want to see what the inflation has been so far each year.
But it's kind of like complicated because you're making money not in nominal euros, but in purchasing power. Because money is losing purchasing power because of inflation. You
Yeah,
have to
because
repay
everything. Sorry,
you
please
have to repay
finish.
the same like nominal euros, but they have lost purchasing power, and that's why you actually gain purchasing power by having low interest debt.
Yeah, also explainable by having the prices go up. For example, after if that drink that you're drinking now costs euro 50, uh, we're not sponsored. If that drink that you're drinking costs euro 50, after 5 years it may cost 2 euros. But yeah, that's where you gain that purchasing power.
Yeah, and but of course, like if you have if the loan, for example, a credit card loan is very bad because usually credit card loan is like 14% interest. Like you're just losing
Yeah,
money. It's not worth it.
yeah.
So it's usually even like paid by daily or weekly or monthly. So they say it's like 1%. Yeah, but it's 1% like a week or something like that. That's why.
Oh. Do you know like what the interest rate is for American college tuitions, like the credit that the
Okay, we can Google it. So that would be like college loan interest. I think it might
yeah.
be actually zero, but of course it's the Americans, so it has to be at least something, I guess. Oh wow, it's 5%. Well, that's very bad. Oh yes,
For 99.
it really is like a complete nightmare. Like thank God we don't have to have like a loan with a 5% interest. So because but the reason why this doesn't make any sense is because when you go to at what age do you go to college? At age 18. How much financial responsibility you have at that age? Zero. So you waste all that money when you have the least amount of responsibility. So it's basically like scamming people. It's scamming that they don't have developed brains which don't comprehend what they are spending and how difficult it will be to repay.
Yeah, it's not like they teach financing or budgeting in last 3 years of
High
high school.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even if they thought that, people would not like pay attention. They
I
don't care.
mean, they taught us economics, but it didn't teach me anything about household budgeting, for example.
Yeah, like this really sucks. Like for example, like a car loan for a new car, I think it's around 2%, 2.5%, but that's for a new car. And you pay the new car premium, so that's why the interest is so low, because you pay the premium in the price of the new car. So
And what is the interest rate in Latvia for car loans, for example?
for a new car, so it's like from like dealership. It can
Yeah.
be too for a used car. It used to be for if you have good credit history, it might be like 10%. I've seen around 7%. Like I've heard some stories for a SEB bank, but if you have like not that good credit history, it will be around 12, 14%.
Okay.
But it might be even up now because the interbank borrowing rates are going up, and so it might be more now.
Okay. Yeah. This is a topic that can be expanded even more.
But yeah, but I also just I guess to finish this, like there is this thing called interest free credit card. I actually have that, and it works by a very specific way. It works if only you repay that money which you borrow in 1 month, basically.
Hmm.
So you can borrow up to the limit for 1 month if you pay it back in 1 month, and you don't have to pay any interest whatsoever.
And where can you get that?
I think all the banks in Latvia you can get that.
Interest-free credit card.
Basically, you can. It usually is. It's in the amount of your salary, so you can borrow the amount of your. Basically, it works. You can borrow from your next salary, but whatever you borrow, you will have to give back with your next salary. But you can actually borrow it again the next time. So it's like the same thing. You can
Yeah.
just you basically you can have like a interest-free credit line up to the amount of your monthly salary. So yeah, so it's but if you have to don't have any like bad credit like history and stuff
And
like that.
and what happens if you can't pay it
You just
in
get
one
regular interest.
month?
It's like 15% interest. Maybe it was
No,
20%. It's not great, like 20% interest, right? But it's not the end of the world either. You just accumulate interest.
I thought you maybe just lose it
No, no,
instantly.
no. I think it was 21% interest or something like that.
Yeah, I guess it's like more lucrative that way.
But yeah, I think it's a good option for people, so they don't have to go to the Lombards. I don't know how it's called in English. The
Pawn
the
shop.
pawn shop,
Yeah.
because in pawn shop they're going to give you even worse interest. So
No, it's better than like the fast credits also, like the
oh,
SMS
because
credit.
it's interest free, of course. But to get it, you have to be like well, you can't be any bad loans, right? And you
Yeah.
just have to pay attention to it, so you repay it back and you don't get interest. Basically, you have to pay attention and stuff like
Just have to know budgeting.
that.
Simple.
Yeah, but yeah, like I've used it and been pretty nice. so far. Okay.
What bank do you have?
I have SEB Bank.
Seb. Okay.
I also have Swedbank as well, but I don't use it. So yeah, but to return to these guys, so yeah, so
Oh
this,
yeah, we haven't even started this
but
one.
it's like a
But
very
this was
quick
a great
story.
discussion.
It's like
Great
very
discussion.
quick. Like it's just like they were called Arvik, and they try to recover debts through extortion, intimidation, and violence. And what they did was try to abduct people, and there were two episodes of a crime uh, where they used violence, and it was reported to the police, and finally they charged them. Um,
See, for such crimes, the law provides for imprisonment for a period of 3 to 12 years.
I really hope they get real prison.
Yeah, because like, oh, that is,
You have,
yeah. I mean,
you have to be such a shitty like person to do that. Like,
yeah. I just like I can't even find the words through the anger. I'm just like feeling anger.
yeah, it's the same. It's just really bad people. Like, basically all you can say about that.
Is that a one comment?
Yeah, let's check it out. It's probably some kind of spam asking for our WhatsApp account to chat with, like somebody to earn some money or something like that. I'm surprised there's only one comment. Maybe there were some more like news stories regarding this.
I think they have the permission to filter the comments. I mean, the news agency itself to like maybe delete some questionable comments.
Yeah, and also this only comment actually is even more sad. It says they were only extorting 2,000 to 4,000 euros. So they were extorting it from people who were not like that rich. They had like a 2,000 euro loan. They could not pay it back. So they were not extorting from some huge like loans or something.
Yeah, there's something in that comment, and there's a point to be made. I think I will touch upon this in one of my themes later today, if we have time.
Okay, so these were all. Okay, so which topics do you want to cover from the ones that were assigned?
Okay, let's start from the bottom because
Okay,
like I think it sort of touches
okay.
upon what we spoke about. So this is actually an interesting news site. It's called Good News. My girlfriend sent this to me, and I read it, and it's pretty wholesome. So, in short, the thought is that they made this experiment the first time by giving, in short, giving support to like violent and criminal men in West Africa. Uh, Forgetting the name of the city. It was in Liberia, Monrava or something like that.
Hmm.
It's down in the text. Uh, and they gathered like I think it was 999 men for this experiment, and
They couldn't
they
get
gave.
1,000.
So no, first there was this guy who went there and he found out that there's this group for men, violent and criminal men, that is like a therapy group, which uses cognitive behavioral therapy, like quirks and quips, and it also like gives them money, like gives them financial support.
Mhm.
And it was so successful that I think this was this Chris Bloodman that created this. He made it into what did you call? Not a survey, not an experiment. Let me check it in my part. Uh, I'm just blanking on a specific word. A large scale study. So that's a study, yeah. Um which encompassed those 999 men, and a quarter of those men got only cash, a quarter of those men got only CBT therapy, a quarter of those men got cash and CBT therapy for 8 weeks, and a
So it's
quarter was the
cognitive
baseline group.
behavioral therapy.
Yeah,
So it's
cognitive
not cannabis. So
behavior.
it's not C,
It's
but
not
it's
it's
okay.
not CBD oil, it's CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. And they found that in first month to a year, crime rates and violence went down by 50%, and that is not including other mischievous behavior. And they thought that it won't last, but after 10 years, it stayed pretty much the same. The crime and the violence was still down by 50%, and they replicated this kind of therapy, let's call it, all over the world, in different parts of the world, different cities, also in Chicago after the 2006 gun craze in America. And it seems to work. It seems to work. I think because not only because of the financial support, because mostly I think I'm not well versed in this. It is like out of my ballpark, but I'm guessing a lot of crime happens because you need to survive. You need the money to not be hungry, to feed your family, and to have a roof over your head. And for a lot of people, that is like the only option to do crime. And but just the money didn't work that well, and just the therapy didn't work that well. But when they both combined, it had some pretty long-lasting effects, and I think it's a good recipe uh, for a cure for
Yeah,
violence in like inner cities, for example.
I think it sounds great. Like I think yeah, I guess most people will hear that and say, "Why give the money? They're not doing anything good." So not anything to deserve it. Should be doing something for that money.
I mean, I think the idea, as I read the text, the idea spreads also like a virus. I don't want to make this comparison, but I'm sort of am. That he said that he went to these, for example, like drug dens where shady business is going on, but there usually was like one person in the corner selling shoes or shining shoes or providing some sort of uh, how do you call what is it remonts like fixing uh, like fixing something. You can go to him and he can fix your clothes, your
Uh-huh.
shoes, or provide some sort of a wholesome service. And they got to talking with those guys, and yeah, they said that they go to this group, they meet I think it was once a week or twice a month. They talk, and they have this community. They feel not obligated, but they feel more responsible to other members of the community to do good as a good influence. And so they teach these guys how to groom themselves, how to be more presentable, how to wear better clothes, get a haircut, and yeah. What do you think about this?
I think it's great. Like I'm reading the study, and you can see like there's a control group and there's a CBT group, like a money group, like a 200 USD in Liberia. I think that's kind of a lot, right? That might be have to like in Liberia, they wouldn't have like high wages 10 years ago. I think it was a lot of
Uh,
money.
yeah, I'm guessing $200 in that part. I haven't checked how much is
Well,
it,
I think
but
so. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of money. I think it would be around minimum wage for us.
mm, I think when you scroll down, they gathered about $1 million for No, to conduct this study.
Yeah, that's actually a
Uh,
good point. You know, like government spends so much money on like who knows what, but like if you just take these guys and give them 200, like let's say euros a month, it's not that much money if you multiply it all up.
yeah, and here you can see like the approximate calculations. It was 338 fewer crimes per person in this 1 to 10 year period, and
Yeah,
that
but
is
it's
like
hard to tell. Maybe there were some other factors as well, because you can't have like a control with a society. Like you need like a separate society for which you
yeah.
did not do give this. Well, you
I
could.
think that I think that's why they use the control group
Yeah, but you need
as
like
a basis to which compare
but you
of.
also need like a separate like society. For example, like this reduction in crimes might happen even without this um like it might just happen because the society is maturing as a whole. So
True. I think they measured within the group, like making these meetings regular. You can check in on those people more often, and you can see what is the trajectory of their life, how has it
but I
changed.
think you're doing this experiment. You're giving this guy just $200 each month, and he's still committing crimes. Do you just keep giving him money? Like I don't know.
I think they had the same worries that you have, that they will just use the money to buy more guns or to buy drugs. Uh, but still, I mean, of course, you can't cure all of them, but they had some pretty good results. I mean, 50%, that is quite a lot.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea. Should be like implemented. Do you think we need this in Latvia?
I think in Latvia we have this concept of men's groups, for example. Uh, as I've read about this, and from my own experience, it is quite important for you to have a community whose group trajectory is on a positive goal, for example, that you can be. Uh, Periodically accountable, not only to yourself but to that group, to be on that positive trajectory, and having a group to in which in where having a group where you can be open about like your inner crises, your like problems or dilemmas. It gives you like a lot of support. It's so simply said, but that's what it is. And maybe not all people can have like good friends or good ties with their family, but once you have that group, and it can be your family or friends, but I'm guessing a lot of people don't have that.
Hmm.
When you have that group, it makes you more like accountable. It makes you, I don't know, happy more.
Yeah, I think that sounds great. Like, I've not like participated in like groups, but I think I get some of that like from work because like we have like a group of people we're just trying to fix all the issues with the system and it keeps breaking down and we just keep trying to fix it. I guess it's a bit of that.
Most human bonding like happens through struggle and like situations that you can fix. Humans usually don't bond through peace and like no friction.
Yeah, interesting. Like I like hiking and also like hiking I enjoy it a lot, but there's like this component also of it being like difficult as well. And that I
Yeah,
guess is the bonding part. Uh,
yeah, and if you're like mischievous group of people who each of them think that their plight is unique and their own, once met in that group, sees that a lot of people suffer in same ways that you do. And you can gain a lot of insights from that. You can gain a lot of answers from that. And a lot of useful experiences that are not your own. Maybe some tactics that you haven't thought of yourself. and that's like the practical part. What would make your life easier?
Yeah, I think that would have been like very useful. Like to me, like a few years ago.
What?
It would have been very useful to me like a few years ago.
Oh,
Definitely, kind of. I
but
guess
not now?
I think also now, but think to like a lesser extent because I managed to figure out some stuff, I guess, by trial and error. And I also did the CBT stuff
Mm.
that also helped. But
You see, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I think I've heard of CBT from you. That was the first
yeah,
time I heard about it.
yeah. Okay. Squat and get free public transport.
Okay, let's segue to some easier topics. I think this was in the confines of a sports festival in Romania. For 2 weeks, they set up this bus station where if you did 20 squats in 2 minutes, I think it was, you get a free ticket
In how many
for
minutes? In how many
in
minutes?
2 minutes.
In 2 minutes. Oh, so it's one squat every 6 seconds, right? Every.
Oh, something like that.
Okay.
You're quicker in math, I think, so you
So
can
let's
like.
try to do it.
Okay.
No, it's kind of a lot. I think it's difficult, actually. Well, it takes some
Uh,
effort. You can do it, but it's some effort.
yeah, yeah, and you get a reward for that, which is your free ticket.
How much is it worth,
And
like that ticket?
if you scroll down, I think it
Ah,
was
it's 50
50
cents.
cents.
That's
Yeah,
not in Latvia more people would do it, I think. Especially
yeah,
those.
because our tickets cost euro 15.
Yeah.
Unless you're a student, then it's
Oh,
like
they don't care.
32
They
cents
wouldn't
or.
do even 5 squats for it. But older people, they would do the squats, I think, definitely.
Yeah, I think also like sports enthusiasts. I mean, I thought how to expand upon this, and I thought you could make like an app that the government makes, which tracks your steps throughout
Okay.
your month, and if you achieve a certain amount of steps in a month, you get free subscription to public transportation. What ideas do you think it could?
I like it. I think it's interesting. Maybe also, if we want to be more Chinese, we can also monitor all your things that you buy. And if you buy too much sugar, you will have a more expensive ticket. Like a
That could be
negative.
like, yeah, that could be like implemented through banks. You know, they have these budgeting applications built in them that track your expenses, like how much did you pay for produce last month, and in that way they can
Yeah,
count your
yeah. Like
calories for you.
technically we can do it because like Remy and Maxima have like e-invoices. At least Remy has e-invoice. You just use the e-invoice and it wouldn't be that. It would just take like a month of programming or two, but it will take some time. But you can do it. Uh,
Yeah,
but I think it
see,
also needs like a negative. You need like two. You both need the negative and the positive. You need to count the steps to give the positive. But if it's too much sugar, then you have to pay extra. But
okay, yeah.
maybe this is not like a good idea. Maybe let like people live free, right?
No, I think it's a like I think it's a good business idea. It's only you
Uh,
need to like work in a government and get them on board with this. But
no, like
yeah,
okay, if we only keep the positive part and if it's like voluntary, then it's like good, everything good. If you take my
no, like you I think you're right. You should have the negative part. Like
uh,
for example, we have this tax on the bottles, plastic
mhm.
bottles now, and you can implement it in similar way with the tax on your health. If you like take buy too much sugary drinks or sugar, then you have a tax added on to
Okay,
like produce.
I think this could work only if the tax, like by law, which could never be changed, which is a very difficult thing, but if they could write a law which could never be changed, that this tax goes directly to the money for healthcare.
Yes,
So if this
that
could
is
be
good.
done, then okay. But I think they'll just change the rule so it goes into some kind of salaries for. administrators, and stuff like that. Build a new
Well,
bridge.
they need to buy their sugar.
I don't know. I think I want people, I guess, to be free to not have any rules like that. The positive aspect is good. I think that one is good, but no negative aspect.
No, I think you could like it's your free choice. You can download it as an application, and you press I agree to the terms and blah blah blah, and then you're in it, and you have the negative and the positive because it's your choice.
Hmm. But okay, but let's think of one moment more for like for an idea for a good. Okay, so steps. So steps is a good metric. I guess no other good metrics, right? Because running it's more complicated to track. Steps are very easy to track. So you should just like stick to
You can
steps.
use GPS tracking. I mean, you pretty much agree to it when you use Google Maps
Yeah.
to follow your location.
Okay, so let's stick to steps. So what benefits could be possible? Like public transport, like maybe maybe lower taxes, perhaps.
Lower taxes
Yeah.
or like some cheaper products or special how was this in English?
Uh,
Uh,
Promotion.
promotion. Yeah, I think like special promotion products produce
Huh.
for those who participate.
I think like one of the easiest ways, but also it would not be very convenient, would be to count those steps, and in the end of the year you can get like a tax deduction. But you know, it's like only for
Yeah.
very conscientious people because you have to put in all those steps all year long, and then only at the end of the year you get a tax deduction. I, I think that
But
only
you can get the tax deduction quarterly, and you
uh,
can like
it would be better if you get it every day. Like that would motivate people. They want instant results.
true, yeah.
I think if it was like once a year, you would get the most conscientious people, and they will get even more conscientious, and everybody else would be like, ah, it's like it's just too much work.
It's yeah, it's like I think it's sorting the healthy from the unhealthy through osmosis of this application that we're thinking about right now. I
But
mean, one other metric could be like heart rate, maybe.
hmm,
But I'm just thinking of people who have like heart problems and have this high heart rate periodically without them doing anything much. That would like mess up the
I
system,
think
maybe.
steps are good. Steps makes a lot of sense. Uh,
Yeah,
Maybe it is also like a good like business idea of some kind, but I guess it could be easily copied. So it would only work as a business idea if you have like partners in like some kind of companies or government organizations. So
yeah, because you need financing and you need to earn something like
yeah.
from that application.
Hmm. Well, okay. So that's just something to consider. All right. Poetry. Do we want to cover this?
Sure.
Okay.
Let me. So yeah, I mean, I just because I hadn't given much thought about the advancement of AI, I came upon this article whilst reading my Morning Brew newspaper, and there was this book a while ago. Uh, Let me check. Called da, 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 uh, "The Policeman's Beard is Half Constructed," by a guy or a person or someone else named Racter. And there was this poetry book. It was this bright red book, and it had this like weirdly paced sort of daydreamy kind of poetry, which was in parts about like existentialism and like I think it was space and electronics. I haven't read it myself. I just read the article, so excuse me. But yeah, and a lot of people, it was a mystery about who wrote that book. And it turns out it was written in 1984, and it was actually an algorithm made by blah 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 blah. Where was it? Uh, I can't find the guy who made it, but it basically was the first AI written poetry book, and it fooled a lot of people. But now we have like a lot of uh, AI applications. It was called. Can I share my screen? Let me try that.
Mm,
No,
okay. No,
no, you can. Okay, if it's difficult, you can leave it on your screen. But you can type in boredhumans.com.
I have the poetry generator open.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I think I left a link. Yeah. And besides poetry, like this site has a lot of AI algorithms. They can
Okay.
make
Oh wow.
photographs,
Huh.
like images, lyrics,
Wow.
motivational quotes,
Oh,
like a
this
lot
is
of.
really cool. So much fake dogs.
Yeah.
Like AI jokes, so just an infinite amount of jokes.
Uh,
Oh
Come
no,
on,
so
let's.
it's you can
Do
uh
you know a joke? Maybe you can
uh
write it and see what it responds.
okay. Knock, knock. Who's there? Okay, help me.
Chicken.
Okay,
Uh,
chicken.
Chicken who? Uh, ch are you checking Doctor Who?
Uh,
Oh,
let's do
fried
just
chicken.
fried chicken.
Fried. And see below the submit joke,
And
there's
this is
the
actually good, I
AI.
think, right?
Did
Did
you
you?
hear about the bear that was hit by an 18-wheeler and splattered all over the place? They said it was a grisly accident.
This is good.
Not bad. It's better than ours, I think.
Okay, let's start to see what happens if I click the button again. Oh, it gets regenerated.
It
Okay.
could be that it has some maybe pre-generated stuff, but it's. I mean, I tried a lot of the not a lot. I tried some of the poetry to see. It gets pretty repetitive, and you can see the pattern it makes. Like it usually has some repeating lines, and it tries to make these rhymes, but they're nonsensical a bit. But there was this AI made poetry that passed the Turing test, and the conditions were that the poetry had to win an award, and it had to be published.
I
Uh,
think that says a lot more about poetry than about AI. It's just like,
I will share you the link.
okay,
You can open it in your messenger.
okay, okay.
I liked your comment. It says more about the poetry than. Uh, but no, if you compare the poetry generator to like this poetry that I sent you,
Hmm.
it has a lot of differences. I mean, uh, da, da, da.
Okay, I'm working on the link. So this is the artist generator. I actually like this. I like this art generator. I think it's pretty cool. Uh,
Yeah. What do you think? I think it's like a Chinese man like praying to a chopped piece of wood.
huh. Let's create another
Generate
one.
another painting.
Okay. Oh, that's something. Oh, my PC is struggling.
I'm trying. I'm thinking if you press that button many times
Uh-huh.
and you keep watching,
Okay, let's
will
see like
will will
something.
they repeat,
Okay, let's do it.
or are they like unique all the time? I could like make this test if I could like free up some 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes and just keep pressing the button and see if he makes original paintings.
Like what I'm noticing, it's very like there's a high amount of noise, like color noise. Do you also see that?
Color noise?
Yeah, you see like tiny bits of color, which
Oh,
like red, green, and blue. There's a lot of
uh,
color noise.
I can see from like my smaller screen, but
Uh,
yeah, I'm pretty sure he probably does it pixel by pixel.
no, I think that's the reason why it's like AI generated because in like these algorithms, they use like a neural network and they have a lot of noise, and I think you can see the noise here.
But so far, I've seen like people, nature landscapes, and people in nature landscapes.
Okay, that's true. But it's probably like the training set. Like they have some kind of a training set, and that was their training set of paintings.
I also see a pattern of chopped wood.
It's like, no, but I think it's
Okay.
pretty good. I think it's pretty like convincing.
Yeah.
I open
Yeah.
this link.
Okay, and see the one in the white square at the top left.
Okay, yep, see it.
That is one, and then there is orange light on the bottom right side. I think those two, and I think it passed. Yeah, the Turing test. It was
Uh,
published in some journal, and people, I guess, didn't notice anything strange about it. But yeah, so I had a question. Well, why do you think why make AI generated art? Is it something like does it contribute to humanity in some way, or is it just like simple curiosity? Like what can we
well,
do
but
with this?
but you know, like how does it? Well, it works by either like an artificial neural network or using, let's say, a Markov chain or some kind of a Markov model. And those are like statistical tools, and they don't generate stuff out of nowhere. They generate it out of the training set. And what's the training set? It's all the stuff that humans make. So it just takes like a huge body of work that humans have made and uh, filters it out by synthesizing all of them in like new stuff. So it's
Mhm.
just another expression of us humans.
I like your explanation, but do you think there is some practical use to that, or
Oh,
is it just
I
for
think so. We
fun?
have to use. I think it's the way forward. Actually, I think it might. We as humans generate the training set, and I think the robots will generate the future out of that because it will be better stuff. I think we might
Okay,
generate
for
all the movies and music just by robots in the future.
all the movies. Oh
It's
man, that
possible. I think.
I know, but it's I've like listened to some songs that AI has remixed, and it like sounds really awful.
Well,
Like,
it's might not there, but for this poetry, it's good.
but yeah, okay. I asked this question because doing a bit of research, I found this thing by Microsoft. Do you know? I don't know how you how you say that. Xiao Ice. It's a it's an emotional computing framework. So it's basically like an AI. It's an
Uh,
application sold in
show
China.
ice,
Uh,
Microsoft.
yeah, I can send you the name.
I found it. Found it.
You found it, yeah. And so let me see. So it's made by Microsoft Asia team. Uh, yeah, and it's sort of like based upon a chatbot, and it has, I think it has ninth generation now. Uh, and it's available in China, and I think there are. So let me see. Uh, yeah, in China it's Xiaoice. Japan also has something like that. America has Zou, or I think it was what was it? There was another thing that the Americans have, and they have something similar in India, which is called Ru, and Indonesia, Rina, and You can play this short YouTube video that I'm sending you,
Okay.
uh, where people like use this daily as I don't know, as an entity in which to confide in,
Huh.
or so sort of converse with and open up to. So it's basically like you said, it's an amalgamation of things that we as humans do, only it's condensed,
Mm-hmm.
maybe distilled, and you can open. Did you get the link that
Yeah,
I sent
yeah,
you?
working on it.
Yeah, and it's going to be a short little video. I think it's minute 50, but there's this girl explaining why she likes this chatbot, and why it's like more than a chatbot. You can basically you can make your own sort of virtual or girlfriend or a boyfriend. You can choose from a variety of pictures. You can like choose from different dresses, I think, and the chatbot can sing. He can leave voice messages to you. He replies pretty much instantly, and like she says, like yeah.
Yeah, it's like crazy shit. What can I say? This is spooky as well, you know. Sometimes, like, you sometimes tell me these things, like in our podcasts, these stories, and sometimes I get this feeling, man, I don't know if I want to live like the future, you know.
Oh,
Like,
come on.
it's like
The,
I don't know, like this
I
doesn't.
mean, this could be like good. I mean, not a lot of people can. How do I want to say? Afford therapy, for example, and uh, don't therapists like use also like some sort of algorithms and like preconceived they have preconceived notions about archetypical problems that humans can have, and a lot of them can have like pre-made answers and ways that they uh, encounter like have
Yeah,
encounters with these
no, that's
people,
good. That's
and you
good how
can.
you're saying. But imagine what if the downsides, right? So if somebody gets your data set, they see everything that you're typing, but at the same time, if you have like a real friend, he would also be able to see their chat logs, right? So it wouldn't be that different than
Yeah,
like,
every chat log that you have in Messenger has been recorded, and you can like scroll through it.
okay, so
All
it's
the
the same at
images.
least in that way, I guess. But it okay, so another risk, it can be manipulated by the government. They can be on the other side. They can be the ones typing to you, hey, maybe you want to, let's say, help us a bit here with some plot in Japan. We got this like ex prime minister. You know, he's not like a nice guy. Maybe you'd want to do something about it, you know?
I think, yeah, there's some controversy behind it. If you open Wikipedia, in 2017, Shaw Ice was taken offline on WeChat after giving user responses critical to the Chinese government. It was subsequently censored, and the bots will avoid and sidestep any inquiries about politically sensitive terms and like phrases. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I got the feeling for one moment when you were telling this, I was like, I want to leave this place or something. I don't know why I got this feeling, but it's just I don't want to experience this stuff. I just imagine everybody using this bot all the time. I'm like, I don't want to be in that future. I
that is sad. I mean, I gotta be honest. That was the first thought that I had. You're a human. You are programmed to be social, and so it got me thinking, is that a disease? Like, can it be called a disease that a lot of people nowadays are socially like isolated and alone and cannot make friends, like trustworthy relationships?
Yeah,
And this would
definitely.
only exacerbate that. Like if a lot more people start using it, it means that a lot more people are not connecting with themselves. I
Yeah,
just thought of an idea that you can like fake this AI chatbot, and you actually have another person on the other end, and both of the persons think that they are talking to an AI chatbot, but they are talking with each other.
they'll notice. It will not work. Sorry. But
Yeah.
they'll definitely using everything that you type as a training set. Like, so yeah. So in some essence, so everybody that you're replying, you're also replying to everybody who's interacting with the bot in some abstract way.
This made me want to like find an English version of this and see what's like what's it about.
Like I actually heard of a similar app on Android, which is like a girlfriend like simulator, and it's
Yeah.
also a chatbot, and it's actually very like evil. It will try to get money from you. It's like really nice and effective and friendly, but then it asks you for money and stuff like that. It's
To
like, oh my
continue
God.
conversation,
Yeah, yeah,
please
it's
pay
exactly like that. And
4.99.
that's like real stuff that people are actually using. I don't know, that
Hmm.
sends like shivers down my spine. I'm like, no, 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 no.
Do you think this is worse or better than OnlyFans?
I think it's worse. I think this is worse.
Why?
I think it's some kind of a exploitation of some kind, like a mechanism of like hacking something, hijacking in an improper way. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I, yeah, not sure. I have to think about it. That's
I mean, I guess you as a programmer can probably see how your data or your responses can be used afterwards. Like, what word did you use? A learning platform
Yeah, but
or
I guess like when I'm using, all I can think about is the algorithm, right? I'm thinking
yeah.
like what algorithm are they using? I don't get past the suspension of disbelief. Like for
Okay.
example, if you're like a movie expert, you're watching like a movie, not like a movie expert, like a movie CGI expert. You're watching a movie under CGI, and you're just thinking, how did they made this exact graphic? Because you know how it's made. And also I'm looking at this bottom, like thinking, so they're using this and this kind of algorithms or this. Like I just see like a huge software on the other side. That
But I think humans are masters of suspending disbelief. We have been storytellers, like drama makers, theater, movies. It all like asks from you to suspend your belief for a while you're watching it.
yeah, maybe it's like I don't think I will would be able to do it for AI.
I think I want to try it. I think if I do try it, I will tell you, and then maybe in the next or after the next podcast, I will tell you about my
You
experience.
you can download the abusive girlfriend app and try to converse with her
Yes,
and try to report back how did you feel. She will be
is
really
that
nice
is
at
that the
first.
actual name of it? Is
No, it's
that the
something
actual name
else,
of
but she'll be really nice and friendly and send you pictures at the beginning, and then she'll start to ask for some
it?
money, and you'll be like, "Oh man, like I have to send her some money."
Like next podcast, like, dude, you gotta help me. Like, I've
We have to
spent
take
like
out a loan, some
150
kind
euro. Yeah, I have to get that interest-free credit card.
of. Oh, it will not be enough. You need to take like a bigger loan. Uh, let's try to find
Jesus.
AI girlfriend up
As
girlfriend.
much as I like this topic, I think we should be wrapping
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
up.
Let's just find the name of that. I girl. No, it's been thinking of something else. Okay, that's